Welcome to Doing More. I'm Erica Cardenas. We're at the private museum owned by Craig Jackson, CEO of Barrett Jackson Auction Company. This garage is filled with a collection of some of the most exclusive muscle and sports cars. Barrett Jackson is an American car auction company in Scottsdale, Arizona that specializes in the auction of classic and collector cars. It runs automotive lifestyle events in different parts of the country, and for the last 47 years, Barrett Jackson enthusiasts have flocked from all over the world to find the hidden gems. We're here with Carolyn Jackson of the Barrett Jackson Auction Company and the founder of Driven Hearts campaign to tell us more about this very important community initiative. Welcome, Carolyn.
Well, thank you very much for having me today.
Who is Barrett Jackson?
We're an Arizona-based company, American auction company. It's an automotive auction and an automotive lifestyle event that takes place 4 times a year in various locations around the U.S.
Now, Carolyn, Barrett Jackson has partnered with the American Heart Association for a very unique partnership through the Driven Hearts campaign. Tell us more about that.
This year, Barrett Jackson set out to do its first year-long charity initiative, and we opted to partner with the American Heart Association based on my being honored to chair the 59th Annual Phoenix Heart Ball. So we thought it was a natural marriage to have Barrett Jackson get on board. We thought we could set out to engage in an awareness campaign and raise awareness and important dollars, but primarily awareness for the American Heart Association. Throughout the year, we've seen people engage on various levels. There have been donors, we've had sponsors to our events. An interesting thing we started this year is we have Barrett Jackson official Arizona license plates, and every license plate that's sold, $17 goes to the American Heart Association. So we take things from a very grassroots level to a very high-end level, and we've engaged our entire community in that way.
Absolutely, and I love that, how much the community can really get involved and be hands-on.
Driven Hearts at this point had taken on a life that I didn't see it taking on, and we are now meeting with our family foundation and with Barrett Jackson Charities to carve out that very next path. If I were to answer today, I would think we'd like to tell stories about people who are just driven to improve the health of others.
So heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and Barrett Jackson has created a very unique acronym known as FAST. Tell us what that is.
Yes, FAST existed, and it's the warning signs for stroke. The AHA had that and the FAST campaign, but we just thought what a great tie-in that would be to what we do with cars. The first signs of stroke, act fast and call 911, and FAST stands for facial drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. And we've taken these large, they're like art installations. It's the word FAST spelt out. They're about 4 feet high, each of the letters. We take them on site to our locations, take a car in a lift and put it above it. It's probably the most photographed site during the auction, but it engages people in the conversation, and we list all the warning signs.
What you're doing in the community is just phenomenal. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for helping us get our message out there.
Absolutely. If you'd like more information on the Driven Hearts charity and campaign, just visit the website on your screen. Did you know that by making a donation to the American Heart Association, you can help slam the brakes to fight heart disease and stroke? Most importantly, at the first signs of a heart attack or stroke, act fast and dial 911. By knowing the warning signs, you can save your life and the life of someone else. I'll be back with more. I'm doing more right after this. Welcome back to Doing More, where we share good news stories from communities around the country. We're here enjoying Craig Jackson's luxury car museum, where each car has been hand-selected and has a unique story behind it. In January 2018, as part of the Driven Hearts campaign, Carolyn and Craig Jackson donated their 1988 Chevrolet 35th Anniversary Edition Corvette, and 100% of the proceeds benefited the American Heart Association. The sale of the car raised $350,000. Throughout the year, the Driven Hearts initiative also offers a Barrett Jackson license plate, and a percentage of the sales will benefit the American Heart Association. Now let's take a look at how the Donor Network of Arizona is saving lives through the gift of organ, tissue, and eye donation.
Donor Network of Arizona is the federally designated organ procurement organization to serve the entire state of Arizona. We're also a tissue and eye bank. So on the clinical side, we facilitate organ, tissue, and cornea donations. When someone passes away and donate organs or tissue, you can heal and save lives. The patients who are waiting for an organ donation, or sometimes multiple organ donations in Arizona, is about 2,200. In the United States as a whole, it bounces back and forth between 114 and 115,000 people who are waiting for a life-saving organ donation. Since there is such a shortage in donations, the sickest people make it to that list first.
Celeste chose to be a giver of life. Unbeknownst to myself and the rest of our family, 4 weeks prior to her passing, she had registered to be an organ donor. That is just an imprint of her generous spirit, of how she lived generously in life and in spirit, a testament of how she wanted to be generous and give back to others.
It's easier to match organs between people who are ethnically and racially similar. So the compatibility is more likely. The chance of organ rejection in the future is less likely when an organ donation comes from someone who looks like you. That's why it's important that everyone consider registering from every population, whether you're Asian or Native American, Latino, Black, white, mixed race.
The people here that work here at Donate Life are wonderful, very caring. The volunteers, they all have their own stories. Either they've given with a loved one as far as a donation from them, or they have an attachment to organ donation, or them themselves, like myself, have received the gift of life.
In the business of trading one life for another, we want everyone to live long and healthy lives, and when that's no longer possible, we want people to consider sharing life. It's the greatest show of love for your fellow man.
It's a gift. As a matter of fact, I call it a gift of love, because you're giving of yourself. Even after you're not here anymore, you're giving yourself to someone that you don't even know, and that's love right there. Just to show that you cared enough to allow someone else to live on.
One of the scariest things for grieving families is that their loved one will be forgotten and that their name will no longer be said. And we know as a family, by Celeste giving life to others, her name and her love just continues to live on.
You can help promote the life-saving and life-healing message of organ, eye, and tissue donation every day by wearing Donate Life Arizona accessories, attending its community events, and financially donating to Donor Network of Arizona. Become a voice for saving and healing lives in Arizona. And speaking of leaders, check out Cox Charity's grant allocation event, where they honored volunteers who are making a difference in their local communities by improving the environments within.
Well, one of the great things about Cox Charities is our ability to step in and support those organizations that really are improving the quality of lives in the communities we serve. In many cases, our employees do it through volunteerism, by rolling up their sleeves, getting involved, helping out. But it takes money to make these organizations work, and that's where Cox Charities, through the generosity of our employees, play such an important role.
One of the really unique and special things about the Cox Charities program is that it was really created by employees, and it has been completely operated by employees. From the giving and the enrollment process to the grant review and selection process, our employees are not only giving their money, but they're also giving their time in the selection process. So they decide who in our community gets these really desired grants.
Time and time again, I hear from employees about how important Cox Charities is, not only to them, but to the communities that they serve. Cox has a great reputation in the community because of our employees, because of their willingness to give back, and because of their ability to really change people's lives in the community.
It means the world to us to know that Cox Charities is not only supporting what we do with kids, but to understand that these dollars are actually coming from things that Cox employees have done all year round. It means that the very families that we are serving are the very families that are employed by Cox who are participating in this. And to us, it means the world to have that kind of synergy with an organization that believes in community, especially what we do with kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs. Well, one of the big impacts for us, just even locally, is seeing all of the ways that Cox has supported the things we do with technology and innovation, and just even having sometimes their employees come down to volunteer with our kids, which is not an easy thing to do, and to see that they are not only participating from a financial place, but they're willing to invest their time and energy and build relationships with the very kids we're serving. So what I've seen time and time again is them being willing to go above and beyond, and not just hand out a check and call it good, but they're really willing to get invested in what we do.
This support is translated into pet therapy for thousands of at-risk children, everywhere from domestic violence shelters, homeless shelters, and most recently in Title I schools directly in the classroom. I can say thank you on behalf of myself and the employees of Gabriel's Angels, or I can say thank you on behalf of the over 190 pet therapy teams and 80 helping hands that are out there on the front lines. But most importantly, just in this past year, I can thank you on behalf of the 15,200 children that we were able to impact here in Arizona, and that can't happen without your generosity.
The National Cox Conserves Heroes program has donated more than $800,000 to environmental nonprofits and has honored more than 200 volunteers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Doing More. I'm Erica Cardenas. We've been enjoying Craig Jackson's private museum and raising awareness on heart disease through the Driven Hearts Charity Initiative and the 59th Annual Phoenix Heart Ball. Did you know that 80% of heart disease could be prevented by lifestyle changes? A proactive, preventable approach is simple. Eat smart, add color, move more, and be well. It first starts with awareness. The Valley of the Sun United Way and the Avondale School District have been working together to address the underlying causes of students being absent, something that affects millions of children throughout the country each year. Take a look.
Our focus out here in Avondale is around school readiness, which leads us to the campaign for grade level reading under the umbrella of Read On Arizona. We helped form and develop Read On Avondale with the City of Avondale, the Avondale School District, and the United Way as a facilitator. The campaign for grade level reading focuses on school readiness, attendance, and summer learning.
I've been at this school, I think it's my 6th year at this particular school, and noticed that we were having some difficulties with our attendance pieces, making sure that kids were here at school every day, and just kind of looking at the data, realized that there was some concern and some issues, and knew that we wanted to do something different to build capacity in students and families on the importance of attending school every day.
Over the past several years, we've really started to take a look at data over a systematic approach. And when we started being able to really address that on a month-to-month basis, we could drill down to specific steps that we could take to be able to support our students, to be able to support our families, to be able to ensure that that message of being in school matters every single day.
The importance of Read On and the attendance initiative is because so much of the stage for your future education is set in your early years, especially early on when the brain is growing so fast, is so important.
We want to make sure that the city is successful, and the easiest way to make sure the city is successful is making sure that everyone in the city is successful. So we start with the smallest kids, and hopefully when they become adults and they become parents, they come back to Avondale and they bring their success back to Avondale.
We absolutely positively need to make sure that we are doing what we're doing, that our community is involved, parents are involved, the schools understand the stakes that we're playing in, and that we do everything possible to get those kids at grade reading level and keeping them in school.
We didn't realize that so many of our children had issues with reading. We knew that their scores might not be where they need to be, but we didn't realize they were staying home from school because they didn't know how to read as well as their classmates. To help them get on grade level and feel more confident with being able to read, not only to themselves or a parent, but in front of their class.
Homelessness has many tentacles, and so does this school attendance initiative. So if we don't share across lines, if we don't work in sharing data, information, knowledge that we've gained in our own sectors, my housing sector, the education sector, the human services sector, we'll miss the boat.
Our reading initiative will continue to grow, and that mission means growth mindset, more students proficient,
And they go out into the world and on to our local high schools and on to our local colleges, and they make a difference in our community. And really, I hope to have them back here teaching someday.
What a great Doing More story. We've got our engines running and we took a trip to visit Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams. Check out as she shares an after-school program that's impacting the lives of teens in a positive way.
The DRAG program is an after-school program where we partner police officers and local police departments with high schools and students. It's a non-enforcement program, meaning that the whole point of our program is a mentorship. We spend time with the students, we get to know the students, we develop the relationships as police officers that allow us to really engage the students in a way that's impactful to them personally. We think the more the students see the automotive industry, the more they'll realize the auto industry is a viable option for a career, a long-term, high-paying job that will allow them to pursue the things in life that they really want to do.
Our district's mission in Phoenix Union is to prepare students for success in college, career, and life. And I think that this program, DRAG, and what we call CARS, College and Careers, was a perfect connection. So we want to promote students and prepare them for college. We also want them to be exposed to different careers out there, and this opportunity provides more than one career.
As police chief, we always talk about engaging and interacting with the community, most specifically the young people in the community, the students in the community. At the same time, though, we want to build capacity so that our students, our young people, can go from being that high school person to someone who's in college, to someone who has a trade, to becoming productive members of society.
We're interested in showing them what's out there in the automotive industry. We're also interested in showing them that the police department wants to partner with them in that respect. Also showing them that there's an educational component to the automotive industry, and these things tie together in a way that brings a real feeling of community that we develop with the students when we have these relationships. We can talk to them in a way that we wouldn't be able to if we just walked into their classroom and said, don't do drugs, we want you to follow the right path. That's great, but does that have any lasting impact on the students? It might not. There's no doubt we can spend time with them in a way that will impact them long term and change their path down the road.
Not every kid can play sports. Not every kid can play a musical instrument. This kind of reaches those kids who can't do those things, and just creates opportunities for them. So you're involved in a program. You love what you do. This makes you come to school every day.
One of the most interesting results that we've seen from our program is we take kids who maybe have a negative view of the police department, and through our program, over the course of 18 weeks, we develop a relationship that makes them proud of a police car. When they get to work on building a police car or they get to be around the police department, it really changes their perspective. The fun thing about the automotive industry is that it doesn't matter where you grew up, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, none of those things matter. You can speak cars, it's a universal language.
But this is open to any student who is willing to learn and get engaged and want to know something about the automotive industry. I'm excited and stoked. You go DRAG, you go CCC, and Trevor Brown again, thank you so much.
Wow, what an amazing story of positive influence and empowerment. We'll be back with more on Doing More right after this. Welcome back to Doing More. We're at Craig Jackson's private museum located in Scottsdale, Arizona. Did you know that Barrett Jackson was established in 1971 and is known as the world's greatest collector car auctions? We also traveled to Las Vegas and learned how smart kitchen technologies makes cooking fun and easy. Take a look.
So I am in the kitchen with Whitney Bond, you are an author, you are a blogger, and you're a chef. I love to cook, and more than that, I love to eat. But in my family, heart disease, so I've learned to kind of eat a little more healthy. And I'm seeing steak in front of me, so I want to know what this is, first of all, and why in the bags?
Yeah, so I'm here to prove that you can still eat the things that you love as you're aging, and you're really focused on being heart healthy and low sodium. So there are different cuts of beef that are heart healthy certified, and this top sirloin is one of them. And now, why is it in the bag?
Yes.
Because we're sous videing it.
Okay.
So this is actually a smart sous vide, so it's Wi-Fi enabled. You can control the temperature, turn it on or off from your phone anywhere. So I could be here with you, and 2 states over, I could be controlling my sous vide at home.
Oh, nice. Or your mom's. I guess,
or my mom's,
right?
Absolutely. That's one of the great things about technology these days is that there are smart appliances, not only the small ones, but the big ones. So at home, I have my oven, my refrigerator, and my dishwasher all connected to Wi-Fi. So I'm really encouraging my parents to get these devices right now so that as they age at home, I'm actually able to connect my phone to their devices in their house. So as they age and might become a little more forgetful about turning off the oven, or might not notice if there's a leak in the dishwasher, your phone will detect those things and tell you. So even if I'm in California and my parents are in Oklahoma, I can check in and make sure that they've turned off the oven, the kitchen door's closed, oven door, refrigerator, everything.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
So it's a nice safety feature.
We've got this. This is an old-fashioned crock pot, right? But it's a new-fashioned crock pot, right?
Right. This is your grandma's crock pot in 2018. So this is a Wi-Fi enabled smart crock pot. Once again, you can turn it on or off, switch it from low to high from anywhere that you're at. But the great thing about this, for people that are aging at home, they might not want to have to cook every single night. So you can cook something like this. I have this yummy chicken ragu. I'll give you a little smell test right there. So we've got a big batch of this cooking up right now. And this is also a low sodium, heart healthy, it's lean chicken breast. We've got some fresh tomatoes, some fresh rosemary in this. So it's very flavorful, but you can use that throughout the week and serve it a few different ways. So
that's nice.
It's a nice thing to have around.
Tender as well once it's cooked. Easy to chew, all of that good stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Whitney, thank you for the great information. For, letting me know that I can still eat meat. We'll go crack that bottle of wine open soon enough, okay?
Absolutely.
I want to thank Carolyn and Craig Jackson from Barrett Jackson for their hospitality today and for sharing with us their passion for speed, awareness, and community. Remember, heart disease starts with awareness, so being familiar with the warning signs is critical. So act fast. I'm Erica Cardenas. See you next time.